Hey guys, I hope you're ready to change your life because this video is about it. Welcome to Silicon Valley Girl. I find it super weird and also super motivational that there is one thing that keeps you away from your dream. Knowing exactly what you want. And you might tell me, but Marina, I know what I want. I want to travel the world. I want to be healthy. I want peace in the world. Like, you want so many things, but what do you really want? And when it comes to this, if we look at all of the entrepreneurs, all of the amazing minds out there, they always know exactly where they're going. Every morning you wake up, your brain is fresh, it's like a small baby ready for any experience, and you start scrolling through social media where people show off their amazing lifestyle, or they show off they just got something new, and you're like, oh, I want this, and I also want this. So you are distracted from your inner self. And once you're distracted from your inner self with a wish that you saw online, you start working for it, but you don't really want it. It's something that came from outside, something that you saw, and you are basically wasting your energy. And this is where procrastination starts. This is when you start feeling lazy because you don't want to work for something that is external. And once you understand that some wishes are external, and by the way, I went through this. I started noticing that after looking at certain people, I felt like I had to work and had to do certain things. And I felt really depressed about that. Like, you see someone building a company or whatever, building an app, doing Web 3.0 stuff, etc. And you really want that, and you feel really bad about not doing something. But when you actually start doing that, you're like, oh my God, this feels so boring. This is not me, etc. By the way, I got some virus a week ago, and I feel better, so I really want to talk to you, but my voice is still weird. Anyways, so when I noticed that I started doing a lot of unnecessary movements in my life because I saw something, I created an exercise for myself. I saw somebody, I wrote an article online, I saw their Instagram story, I watched a movie. How did it make me feel? Did it make me feel bad about myself, about not achieving certain things? Or did it leave me inspired and I actually like that person? So if it was the first option, I just muted that person. I just unsubscribed from the email. Like, I did something that would just make that person disappear because that person triggers me in a non-productive way. And what I actually started realizing after that is that a lot of people, sometimes they know it, sometimes they don't know it, but they manipulate you in order for you to feel bad or to buy a product from whatever. Brands manipulate us every day. And sometimes when it feels unhealthy, it's better to block someone. But if it's the second option, I kept the person in my world. Number 2, and I want you to do this exercise. It's like a pretty hard exercise. So I'm gonna show you my dream board, how I'm working on it. It's not something you can do in a day, I'm like pretty sure, especially if you're a person like me who gets inspired by everything and everyone. It takes time for you to actually understand what you want. So the exercise is write down 100 wishes. When you start doing those 100 wishes, make sure you create categories because it just gives this structure. So I have family and household, how many kids I want to have, all of the house help that I want to have, events, what I want to attend, real estate and investments, things that I want to buy, business and team, who do I want to hire, what I want in terms of revenue, social proof, magazine covers, number of subscribers, shows, partnerships, what brands do I want to work with, trips, and people I want to meet and work with. Another thing, I think I started talking about it back in 2020. I want to have back in 2020, I said I wanted to have $2.5 million invested by 2035. That was my manifestation, my wish, my goal, and something that seemed out of this world. Like, I wasn't making that much. I wasn't making that much after tax. And I thought, like, 2.5 million? This is a crazy amount. And I told myself, 2025. So I told myself, Marina, you have 5 years to have $2.5 million invested in whatever you want, real estate, stocks. And this is when I started investing. This is when I started doing all of that. You know what's exciting? I'm halfway there. It's 2022 and I'm accelerating the pace at which I'm investing. 2020, I was like, this is impossible. 2022, I'm halfway there. And I would, by 2025, my hope is I would either have 2.5 million, and the calculation was, because if it's 2.5 million, if it's 7% passive income, or like even 5%, I could retire at 35, go to Thailand and live there. Like, this is plan Y for me. I love what I do and I'm not planning to retire anytime soon. But as a woman, I think, as a woman, I am less risky. So I love having plan B. Some people would tell you never have plan B, and I love having plan B. This gives me a strong foundation to skyrocket my growth. Isn't that amazing? And I wanted to give a quick shout out to the app called BINANCE, which I use to invest in crypto, and crypto is a part of my portfolio, and I made a lot of videos about crypto, and yes, it went down. I believe in technology. I believe that our main currency cannot be controlled by any particular government, and I invest in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. This is my portfolio right now. This is one of my portfolios that I'm showing here. I have more crypto portfolios, but basically it's a very intuitive app. You see Bitcoin, Ethereum. I have some other currencies, but Bitcoin is like 60% of my portfolio. Ethereum is 30% of my portfolio. I can make a deposit with Apple Pay, which is super convenient. And the feature that I really like is setting up recurrent purchases. Again, I'm an investor who wants to automate everything. I have my spreadsheet with my portfolio allocations. Some of it is managed by professional advisors, some of it is managed by me. And I know that every month I want to invest this amount in crypto, this amount in stocks, this amount in ETFs, and I want everything to happen automatically. So basically you can choose how often you buy crypto using these options, and then everything is gonna happen automatically regardless of the market, which means dollar cost averaging, which means that you won't be making decisions like, oh my God, crypto is down, let me sell everything. Oh my God, crypto is growing, let me buy the high. Like, this doesn't really work. Peaceful mindset, dollar cost averaging. This is what I do with all of my investments. Another thing why I really like using Binance is that they recently announced zero fee Bitcoin trading. So it basically allows you to buy Bitcoin for euros, British pounds, USDC, USDT without paying fees. If you want to start using Binance, this is your lucky day, because they're going to give $600 to everyone who's going to sign up using my link. Yes, $600. This is how generous crypto apps are these days. All you need to do is sign up using my link in the description box down below, download the app, complete tasks on the app, and get up to $600 cashback vouchers that you can use to reduce trading fees for the first transactions. If you like the offer, if you want to start using Binance, check out the link below, and thank you guys from Binance for sponsoring this video. Let's move on. Make sure you know the exact value of your wish. For example, see how precise I am. I want a house, and this is one of my dream houses. It costs 4.2 million. It's in Los Altos Hills, and I'm just so in love with this house. And it's not about wanting huge things as well. Like, for example, this is something that's gonna go on my dream board. This is, it's called Frette. This is like this luxury bedding that costs like $3,000. And I could have bought it right now, but sometimes, you know, you're like, I remember when I was a student and I debated spending $10 on a lunch because that seemed too much for me. Though I had $10 for lunch because my mom would give me like $12. But I thought, what if I spend like $5 and then just save $7? It's the same with this now. Like, I could potentially buy this $3,000, but right now it just feels unjustified. I want to be on that level when I don't think about something like this. If I want it, I buy it. So for every wish, there has to be numerical value. For every person, you know who I have here? Gary. I think he's amazing. I think I love how he believes in what he says. I love how energetic he is, how many projects he does. And my dream is to be more like a female version of Gary Vee and being someone who motivates. But I'm like, as a mom, I'm against that hustle culture. I'm more like, great things happen when you love your life and you enjoy every minute, and you don't have to grind 18 hours a day. Well, you have to sometimes, but most of the time you live your life. So this is my goal. So Gary Vee is gonna be on my dream board. And one of the goals, I want to be at the same conference as him, be in the same lineup. So in terms of partnerships, like, be very specific. When it comes to trips, I want to go to St. Petersburg with my family to see my other family members and for my kids to see their grandparents and celebrate New Year's together. Like, this is how specific I get with every wish. Try and create 100 wishes. I'm sure you're gonna stop. Like, first time I stopped at 12, then I stopped at 23, then, you know, I stopped at 56. But when I got to 100, I looked at them, and like, when you see all of your different wishes, you're able to select those that you really want the most. And this is what goes onto your dream board. And now you're like, Marina, but not everyone is gonna buy a 4.2 million house. Not everyone is gonna be the same as Gary. The thing is, this might be so hard to realize. And I had the same mindset when I was a kid. I was like, who would meet a Russian girl in the US? Or who would listen to this girl when she starts her company? But somewhere deep inside, I knew that I wanted to do this. I knew that I wanted to be that person. Yes, it was hard for me to believe, but this is why my growth was kind of slower, because I see 23-year-olds, 20-year-olds doing amazing things these days. And when these two parts of you, like, you believe that you would be the one to do that, and you also love this, when they connect together, this is when you skyrocket with your growth. If Elon Musk was like, I know how to build a car, I know how to hire those people, but you know, I'm not as good as Bill Gates, I'm not as good as the other people, let them do this. With that mindset, every talented person, they would reach some heights, but they won't go as high. Allow yourself to dream, and this is so crucial. You can be the one who's gonna be the president of your country. You can be the one who can create the next revolution in tech. It is that easy. It is this component that a lot of people miss. And I want you guys who are watching this video, I want you to understand that this is sometimes the key component. I am worth it, I can do it, and I'm gonna do what I love. And this is how a mindset works. Because whatever you tell yourself, this is how you're gonna function. Like, mindset, perspective, it changes everything. If you wake up every morning and tell yourself, my goal is to launch this product, this would make you question everything you do during that day. How does this action bring me closer to my goal? Somebody calls you, a person who constantly needs something from you and never cares about you and asks you to help them out. You're asking yourself, how does this help me? Is that person toxic? Does he drag me down? And you would just say no. But if your mindset every morning is like, how can I get through this day? Oh, this person is actually gonna distract me from my job that I hate. Okay, I'm gonna meet with this toxic person anyway. Like, this is how. You can call it anything. You can call it manifestation. You can call it your goals. For me, it's basically you are telling your brain exactly where you're going. And yes, I'm a person who studied mathematics, who believes in science. And like, I don't believe in these things when people are like, oh, write this down and hide it under your pillow and, you know, burn it later. Or like, in my culture, what we do during New Year's, we write down our wishes, we burn the paper, and you eat the ashes, and this is supposed to help the wish come true. I actually agree with the writing down part, because this is you telling yourself what you actually want, you reiterating where you're going, you giving your brain the direction. Like, you don't have to eat your ashes, but if it makes you more confident, like, do whatever. I did eat the ashes. Anyways, so this is why create a dream board. Put it in front of yourself. This is why you need to write down 100 wishes. And this is also something that makes you feel so good. Like, once you tell yourself, like, even this, like, I really know that we're gonna buy our dream house in 2 years. This all really helps you feel happy today. What this does to you and your mood is also extremely amazing. When I wrote down all of my wishes, I'm like, I know that someday we're gonna buy our dream house. Maybe it's in 2 years, maybe it's in 3 years. But when I know that, like, I am sure, and my mood is completely different. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go buy something nice. Like, I bought this yesterday because I thought, you know, it's gonna look good in the new house. And it made me feel so good. And it made me more enthusiastic about things that I wanted to do. It made me more enthusiastic about my job because I know this is what is gonna help me buy that house. It's just incredible. Like, you don't have to believe in all the magic and again, I'm a person who believes in science, but I see this instant improvement on how you look at your life. So I really, really hope you guys create this list of wishes, create the dream board, and program yourself every morning that you're gonna be that person that you're dreaming of. And by the way, don't be afraid to dream big. Don't be afraid to dream that you are the next Elon Musk, that you're the next president of the United States, that you are the one who's gonna create the best app for Web 3.0. This is how people get there, by believing, by telling themselves that this is who they are and this is what they've been created for. And sometimes you're like, oh, Marina, I don't want to shoot for the moon. This doesn't sound realistic. Well, the thing is, if you shoot for this height, you might end up here. But if you shoot for the moon, you might end up really, really close to it or on the moon. So shoot higher, lift your bar. Again, this is coming from a person who was, like my husband, is always shooting for the moon. When we were in Russia and he told me, Marina, we need to raise money in Silicon Valley, I told him, you're crazy. Nobody needs Russians in Silicon Valley with this, startup to help people learn languages. Like, who would need it? But he was so enthusiastic. We wrote to Sequoia, we wrote to Mark Zuckerberg. Like, we reached out to almost everyone on LinkedIn. Guess where we ended up? In Silicon Valley. And this is probably why I married him, because I wanted this mindset. And I've been learning more and more of it. And I see how it's been changing my life constantly. So I really want you guys to feel it, feel my enthusiasm, have pieces of my energy to create something like that for yourself. Be patient, be determined, and make sure you know what you really want. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for watching Silicon Valley Girl. I'll see you very soon in my next videos.